Welcome to IE News and to our viewers on IETVTT.com. I am Micah Dume. Thanks for joining us. In the headlines, the Prime Minister defends law enforcement amid growing backlash in Kaya Sealy matter. Government preparing a major overhaul of passport systems with new e-passport platform. Tertiary education minister urges balanced use of technology and AI in schools. In our top story, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has broken her silence on the growing public backlash surrounding the Kaya Sealy matter, defending the role of law enforcement while outlining a series of new legislative and crime-fighting measures expected during the next session of Parliament. Here's more. Responding to questions about police issuing warrants for Sealy to face a manslaughter charge linked to the death of her common-law husband, Joshua Samaru, the Prime Minister referenced two controversial quotes on morality and law enforcement. One quote stated that the most evil among us always expect the rest of us to live by morals that they don't possess themselves, while another declared that people sleep peaceably in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. The comments come amid heated national debate over the police investigation and wider concerns surrounding crime, justice, and the conduct of law enforcement officers. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar also defended her government's performance during the first session of the 13th Republican Parliament following Friday's proroguing ceremony, while acknowledging that further improvements are expected when Parliament resumes on June 5th. Among the measures being planned are legislation to establish the post of Judiciary Chancellor, raise the legal age for alcohol consumption, marijuana use and gambling, and amend laws related to firearms, gated communities and private home approvals through local government bodies. The Prime Minister said government's focus remains on improving efficiency and making life easier for citizens through legislative reform and deregulation measures aimed at simplifying business operations. Addressing the issue of increasing school violence, Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar confirmed that the Police in Schools initiative will be expanded, although principals who object will have the option to decline participation. She also announced plans for parental responsibility legislation and the introduction of parent patrols in schools as part of efforts to tackle youth misconduct and indiscipline. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister criticized opposition MPs following last Friday's walkout during a debate on the Victims' Rights Bill. She accused members of the People's National Movement of spending more time in the Parliament tea room eating than debating inside the chamber. The Ministry of Homeland Security is preparing to overhaul Trinidad and Tobago's passport system with the planned introduction of a new electronic passport or e-passport platform aimed at strengthening border security and modernizing immigration operations. In a recently issued expression of interest, the ministry invited qualified companies and service providers to submit proposals for the upgrade of the existing passport issuing and control system currently used by the Immigration Division. The proposed project signals a major shift away from the current machine-readable passport system toward a fully integrated electronic passport network featuring enhanced security technology and digital verification systems. According to the notice, the new e-passport platform is expected to comply with standards established by the International Civil Aviation Organization and will include upgraded software, secure network infrastructure, and advanced passport production capabilities and online application processing. Officials say the modernized system is intended to improve efficiency, strengthen identity protection measures, and enhance the overall passport issuance process. Across Trinidad and Tobago, the planned rollout is also expected to introduce digital enrollment systems, biometric integration, quality assurance modules, supervisory review functions, scanning technology, and electronic verification mechanisms. Authorities indicated that the project would extend across multiple operational sites nationwide, including facilities connected to passport production, testing, training, and disaster recovery. The ministry further stated that the new platform must support online applications and electronic payment processing as the government continues its broader push toward digitized public services. Interested entities are being required to demonstrate experience in passport system implementation, security integration, and compliance with international standards before advancing to the next phase of the procurement process. Submissions for the expression of interest are expected to close on June 19th, 2026. Speaking at the Shell and Explorers Awards ceremony on Friday, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training Professor Prakash Prasad encouraged students to embrace modern technology, including computers and artificial intelligence, while warning against becoming overly dependent on digital tools. He stressed that although technology can support learning, critical thinking and human reasoning must remain central to education. Minister Prasad noted growing international concerns that education may now be adapting to technology, supporting education, adding that some commentators fear younger generations may be losing important thinking skills due to over-reliance on digital systems. The minister also revealed that his ministry is working alongside the Ministry of Education, Trinidad and Tobago, to strengthen digital education and coding skills from the primary school level. He explained that plans are underway to begin coding programs in primary and secondary schools, but emphasized that teacher training must come first to ensure educators are properly equipped to deliver the initiative.
That keep on using new technology, but do not stop thinking. There's a growing movement now where people are saying, for the first time, at least one commentator in the United States is saying that, and other places also, that with the increased use of technology, technology is no longer supporting education. Education is being used to support technology. And for the first time in the US, they're saying that the succeeding generation is not as smart as the existing generation. Partnering with the Ministry of Education, we want to start training teachers to be able to start coding, physical coding at the primary schools, and if possible, secondary schools. But right now, we cannot start these programs if the teachers cannot do it.
We pause for a moment. More news when we come back.
From the freshness of the ocean, Rainbow has sealed in all the natural, healthy goodness in their canned tuna, sardines, and mackerel. So go ahead, enjoy some crispy sardines, stewed mackerel, or a creamy tuna salad. Because while your tummy enjoys the great taste, your heart and immunity will love the healthy omega-3s, calcium, protein, and more. Rainbow's canned tuna, sardines, and mackerel are 100% real fish. So it's tasty, healthy eating for your body, heart, and mind. Rainbow canned fish.
Tile Expressions Limited, as one of the largest importers of tiles, offers an extensive range of high-quality tiles in ceramic, porcelain, granite, stone, and mosaic options. Additionally, we offer a variety of tile accessories and bathroom sets to complement any decor style. We are committed to providing exceptional customer service and swift delivery of all products. From indoor and outdoor tiles to bathroom sets and tile accessories, we have curated a range that caters to both traditional and modern taste. Lampu's 13, Ajudha Road, Munro Road, Canopio. Call 223-8453.
Welcome back. THA Chief Secretary Fali Augustine is expressing dissatisfaction with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service's handling of the investigation into the disappearance and suspected murder of 2-year-old Angelo Tobias Plaza. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Augustine questioned the initial response to the case, saying the first 48 hours were not handled properly and suggesting that authorities should have moved sooner to hold the child's mother and stepfather accountable. His comments come after the Director of Public Prosecutions authorized murder charges against 24-year-old Shannon Miller in connection with Angelo's disappearance from his Goodwood home on May 11th. Augustine said Tobagonians have every right to feel outraged over the handling of the case, adding that justice appears delayed and that serious lessons must be learned moving forward.
I am not satisfied with how the TTPS managed this case. I feel as though justice is not being served. I feel as though justice is still delayed, and I think the first perhaps 48 hours or so of this entire case was just not handled well, in my opinion. It's beyond me what a 2-year-old could do an adult that will make an adult want to get rid of a 2-year-old. It's a 2-year-old. And subsequent to the activity, I don't understand why we didn't much earlier call the parents to account.
President Christine Carla Kangaloo has appointed Jacqueline Wilson as chairman of the Elections and Boundaries Commission. Wilson, a former permanent secretary and senior official at the Commonwealth Secretariat, brings extensive experience in public sector reform, governance, and digital transformation. She played a key role in the establishment of several major government initiatives, including the Ministry of Public Administration, TT Connect Service Centers, and the Ministry of Digital Transformation. Wilson has also served as an advisor to governments across the Commonwealth and has received national awards recognizing her contribution to public service. She is expected to bring significant leadership and administrative expertise to the Commission as it continues overseeing electoral and boundary matters in Trinidad and Tobago. An exhibition celebrating Indo-Trinidadian heritage and resilience has opened at Southern Academy for the Performing Arts as the country commemorates Indian Arrival Day. The Basdio Pandey Museum of Inheritance, the exhibition was officially launched on Monday evening and offers visitors a journey through the history, struggles, and cultural legacy of Indo-Trinidadians. Education Minister Michael Dowlath attended the opening ceremony and described the exhibition as an important reminder of the role culture and the arts play in preserving national identity. He stressed that art and heritage should never be viewed as secondary, noting that culture represents serious work that helps define a nation and its people. The exhibition was conceptualized and created by designer Kima Manikchan and launched on what would have been the birthday of a former Prime Minister Basdio Pandey. Manikchan said the project was inspired by a deep love for country and a desire to encourage citizens to embrace their history and ancestry. Minister Dowlath also highlighted the educational value of the exhibition, especially for young people, explaining that historical artifacts can spark curiosity and encourage students to learn more about their grandparents, great-grandparents, and their own identity. The exhibition runs until Friday at Sapa and is open daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Minister of the People's Social Development and Family Services, Vandana Mohit, says government has approved major reforms to the Standard Means Test, commonly known as the SMT, aimed at ensuring more families qualify for social assistance grants. Here's more.
Speaking in Friday's sitting of the House of Representatives, Minister Mohit said the changes are long overdue and are intended to better reflect the realities facing vulnerable citizens in 2026 and beyond. She noted that for years, vulnerable households were being assessed using outdated benchmarks established before major increases in food prices, transportation costs, housing expenses, utilities and healthcare burdens, as well as the economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister Mohit revealed that an inter-ministerial committee was established in July 2025 to conduct a comprehensive review of the SMT, which contributions from economists, academics, statisticians, health experts, social policy specialists, and representatives from several ministries. The review resulted in significant updates to the country's poverty indicators. According to the minister, the poverty line has increased from 1,439.02 to TT 2,044.23 per adult equivalent per month, a 42.1% increase. She added that the indigence line moved from TT 553.47 to TT $783.23, while the vulnerability line increased from TT 1,798.78 to TT 2,555.29. Minister Mohit said the revised thresholds acknowledge the rising cost of living and will allow more genuinely vulnerable households to qualify for assistance instead of being excluded under outdated criteria. She explained that the reforms will also allow assessments to better reflect actual living conditions and could result in more than TT 900 in additional disposable income being considered when determining eligibility for assistance programs. The minister added that families previously denied access to public assistance grants under the old system may now qualify under the revised framework.
That for almost a decade, vulnerable families were being assessed using benchmarks established before dramatic increases in food prices, transportation costs, housing expenses, utilities, and healthcare burdens, and most importantly, the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that is the uncomfortable truth. Madam Deputy Speaker, a system designed to protect the vulnerable cannot remain frozen in time while the cost of survival continues to rise. The poverty line has moved from TT $1,439.02 to $2,044.23 per adult, equivalent per month, an increase of 42.1%. The indigence line has increased from $553.47 to $783.23. The vulnerability line has increased from $1,798.78 to $2,555.29.
You're watching IE News. We'll return after these messages.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canoopia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Are you renewing your motor, homeowner or business insurances shortly? Then call Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, for a competitive quote. With 2 locations, Todd Street, El Socorro and 5 Rivers, Aruca. Please call us at 221-5051 or 227-5051. Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, building relationships exceeding expectations.
Welcome back. 1 month after the Tobago House of Assembly passed a motion endorsing the Tobago Marine Parks Bill 2026, the proposed legislation has now advanced to the Chief Parliamentary Council for further review. Speaking during a hurricane preparedness workshop hosted by Tobago Emergency Management Agency and key stakeholders, THA Chief Secretary Farley Augustine said he expects the bill to reach Parliament within weeks. Augustine explained that all proposed legislation must first pass through the Chief Parliamentary Council before being tabled in Parliament, adding that the process is similar to bills originating from Cabinet. The proposed marine parks legislation returned to public focus following the tragic April 8th jet ski incident at Pigeon Point Heritage Park, which claimed the life of 7-year-old Angelica Jogi. The THA previously faced criticism from some stakeholders and tour operators who argued they were not adequately consulted during the drafting process. However, he maintained that the current bill is an updated version of the 2020 proposal and already includes feedback gathered during earlier consultations. Among the proposed changes are extended operating hours within the marine park from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. without requiring special permits, as well as an increase in the allowable music decibel limit for tours from 60 to 100. The Chief Secretary also defended the inclusion of together tougher, that is, penalties under the legislation, saying they are consistent with existing national environmental laws.
It goes to the Chief Parliamentary Council as all other bills, as you would imagine. So not just this one, any bill that goes to the Parliament, including what originates at the Cabinet, also goes through the CPC before it makes its way to the Parliament. So I suspect within a week or so, it will be tabled. The original Tobago Marine Parks bill had a cutoff point for use in the marine park without special permit at 6 p.m. What we propose takes it to 10 p.m.
Let's now take a look at some international news.
Tonight, it is a race against time to try to stop the deadly Ebola virus from spreading. The outbreak in Central Africa rising rapidly. The Democratic Republic of Congo now has more than 900 reported cases, according to local authorities, and 10 countries also considered at high risk for an outbreak. Health officials sounding the alarm.
It will be a big mistake to underestimate, especially with this strain.
In the middle of those 10 countries, the Democratic Republic of Congo, where there are more than 115 deaths reported to be Ebola-related. In the Congo city of Bunia, where the outbreak originated, health officials say there are several challenges slowing down efforts of trying to contain this rare strain of Ebola. People traveling from region to region, and also the ongoing violence.
The security in part of Ituri remains really fragile, and this is because of the presence of armed groups and recurring intercommunal tensions.
Ebola is a virus that can cause a person to bleed to death, and this strain has no vaccine or specific treatment. Health officials in the DRC have banned gatherings of more than 50 people. But in Bunia, locals attending Sunday Mass like Ronald Safari says he and other churchgoers are taking precautions.
Nous savons que cette maladie existe.
Just because this disease exists, he says, doesn't mean they can close a church. And as the U.S. inches closer to the start of the FIFA World Cup, multiple countries now with travel restrictions in place, including the United States. The U.S. saying U.S. citizens who have been to the DRC, Uganda or South Sudan must now head to airports in Virginia and Atlanta for health screenings. A third airport in Houston added to that list on Tuesday. Foreign visitors and U.S. green card holders who have traveled through or coming from those areas in the last 21 days have been blocked from entering the country.
Hours after Secret Service agents shot and killed a suspect who opened fire just steps from the White House, tonight President Trump using the incident to renew his calls for the construction of the White House ballroom. Trump was in the Oval Office with his aides as a gunman approached a security checkpoint on Saturday night with a gun and started firing.
91, respond for a shooting at 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest.
The president, who is facing backlash from even within his own party for his $1 billion request in taxpayer money for the White House complex, saying it goes to show how important it is for all future presidents to get what will be the most safe and secure space of its kind ever built in Washington, D.C. Officials say the suspect has a history of incidents involving the White House. He encountered law enforcement in June 2025 for blocking a point of entry at the White House. He was detained and involuntarily committed for a mental evaluation. 1 month later, he was arrested after he attempted to enter a White House checkpoint. Court records showing a judge ordered he stay away from White House grounds.
When we return, your weather updates and more, stay tuned.
Introducing Signature Marine Coatings. We bring you premium marine solutions powered by PPG coatings, including anti-fouling protection, high-grade epoxy systems, fiberglass materials, and complete marine refinishing supplies. Protect, enhance, and maximize the performance of your vessel with products you can trust. Get the finish your vessel deserves. We are located at Tardy Marine Limited in Chagaramas. Call us today at 2900-654 or email at signaturepaints@hotmail.com.
Let's do India and Nepal, a soulful journey across timeless destinations. Delhi, Kathmandu, Varanasi, Ayodhya, Haridwar, Rishikesh, Agra, and Jaipur. August 12th to 28. Presented by Pandit Omarat. Call 681-3476 to book now. Not just a trip, it's a spiritual and cultural experience.
Welcome back to IE's Major News. Let's take a look at today's weather forecast.
Today was generally hot, hazy and breezy across Trinidad and Tobago with a significant concentration of Saharan dust lingering in the atmosphere. Conditions remained mostly fair throughout the day, although a few brief isolated showers developed in some areas during the afternoon. Temperatures climbed to near 33 degrees in some locations, while overnight lows remained around 25 degrees. Winds were occasionally gusty, especially near passing showers. Sea conditions remained moderate, with waves ranging between 2.0 and 2.5 meters in offshore areas and 1.0 to 1.5 meters in sheltered locations, occasionally becoming choppy. Tonight, conditions are expected to remain mostly fair but hazy with a light to moderate breeze and the low chance of a brief isolated shower. Saharan dust concentrations are expected to continue overnight, so sensitive persons are advised to take the necessary precautions. Marine conditions will remain moderate to occasionally rough offshore with easterly winds between 15 and 20 knots and seas near 6 to 8 feet in open waters. For Wednesday, May 27th, expect generally dull, hazy and breezy conditions during the day with a few brief isolated showers despite the haze. There will still be periods of sunshine and temperatures are expected to reach the low 30s Celsius once again. Gusty winds are likely at times, particularly near showers. By Wednesday night, mostly fair but hazy conditions are expected to return. Sea conditions will remain moderate, occasionally choppy in offshore areas, with waves between 2.0 and 2.5 meters offshore and near 1.5 meters in sheltered areas.
Let's take a look at some crime news.
"30 persons were arrested and a total of 55 warrants executed during an intelligence-led warrant apprehension operation conducted by officers of the Central Division Warrants Department on Saturday, 23rd May. During the operation between 9 a.m. and 10 p.m., officers conducted several checks and inquiries across the division, resulting in the successful execution of 55 warrants and the arrest of 30 persons from areas including Siparia, Gasparillo, Couva, Cunupia, Marabella, Todd's Road, Freeport, Caripachima, Edinburgh 500, Tortuga, Caroni, St. Helena, and Maracas, St. Joseph. The warrants executed included 25 affiliation warrants, 24 first instance warrants, 6 traffic and court warrants. Among these arrested were persons wanted for offences including firearm-related offences, robbery, kidnapping, wounding, narcotics offences, larceny, traffic offences, and street offences. Several persons were also arrested in connection with outstanding affiliation and commitment warrants. This exercise coordinated by Senior Superintendent Bagwandine. 2 men were arrested while a farm of firearm, ammunition, and narcotics was seized during an operation conducted by members of the Interagency Task Force. The exercise, which took place between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. on May 23rd, focused on the Port of Spain and Northeastern divisions, with officers paying particular attention to several areas including Perry Lane, El Socorro, Aranguez, and Belmont Valley Road. While in Belmont Valley Road, Belmont officers received information which led to the search of an abandoned structure. During the exercise, officers found a black plastic bag hidden beneath a galvanized sheet containing 1 pistol, 3 rounds of .32 caliber ammunition, 210 grams of cannabis, and 110 grams of cocaine. Additionally, while patrolling Calcutta Street, Aranguez, officers stopped and searched a man and allegedly found 8 grams of cocaine in his possession. The 23-year-old suspect was arrested and later charged with possession of cocaine. At Perry Lane, El Socorro, officers arrested a man from a nearby address for possession of 65 grams of cannabis. A subsequent search of his home, however, yielded no additional illegal items. The operation was spearheaded by ACP Hazel and coordinated by Inspector Titus and Sergeant Bethelmy.
Recapping the headlines, Prime Minister defends law enforcement amid growing backlash in Kai Sealy matter. The government preparing major overhaul of passport system with new e-passport platform. Tertiary Education Minister urges balanced use of technology and AI in schools. Well, this is where we leave you for now. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Micah Dume. Thank you for joining us.